I met my love by the gas one summer evening, drunk to hell, a Saturday life was. I remember the day when the barrel shade fell into a concrete street in me pocket, and I took it home to Jenny. We wanted to the station in the rain, and we kissed him as he put along the train.
Good morning everybody, you join me on another salmon safari. It's the first proper one of the year, and I tell you what it is, it's going to be a good one. Even if I don't catch a fish, I don't care, I'm determined to have a great time. I'm on the Dee, the Royal Dee, and I absolutely can't wait to fish it. I'm standing on a bridge at the moment looking down, and the water looks absolutely beautiful. Now last year you saw me going all over the place. I went north, south, east and west looking for salmon, and as you saw I didn't have any success at all with spring fish. So I learnt my lesson. I decided to concentrate on local rivers at home, or relatively local rivers, and I've been very targeted in my fishing approach so far. However, it's April the 1st today, so what better way to celebrate British summertime than with a real good old-fashioned salmon safari. So we're up here to fish hard for 3 days, and if we don't catch a fish, fair enough, but we're going to die trying. Alright everybody, so welcome to Craig and Dinny on the upper middle Dee. So I'm fishing here for 2 days, and this pool is called the Plantation. So that's the fly that I'm fishing. It's tied on a bottle tube, and I've tied it with a really big green ugly head. My setup today is a floating line with a 10-foot intermediate tip as advised by the Gilly Stewart. It's quite a shallow, fast flowing river from what I can see. It's reminding me very much of the supersized South Tyne. And as you can see, it's very clear, but there is just a lovely faint sherry tinge to the water. So I've been advised not to fish too deep, just to get the fly to dig in, but not be literally dredging as I have been so far. There's a good pace to it, it's definitely a fast flowing river. And it looks like I've been blessed in terms of weather. So the state of the river is as follows. So purposely, before I came up here, I didn't check the river levels. I didn't want to, because I find that if you've got a trip booked, you can get a little bit obsessed with river levels, and it puts a bit of a downer on if you don't get what you want. So I thought I'd just take the water as it comes, so to speak, and just fish the conditions as to how they are. Now it turns out I've fallen on quite a good height. The Stuart the Gilly likes this height, so I'm happy with that. I know that over the weekend, today is Monday, over the weekend, Saturday, there was a lot of water which dropped off, and there were quite a few fish caught actually around this part of the Dee. Now I'm fishing up here because, well, there's been fish caught. So in March I think they had 5 or 6 fish, which seems to be quite good. And then the other beat that I'm fishing, Dinnet, I'm fishing that for 1 day on Wednesday. And they were the ones that caught 3 fish on Saturday when there was that bit of water. So, you know, it's good to know that there's fish being caught this far up the river. And it seems like, so far this season, this seems to be the most successful area of the river so far. So that's very encouraging to know. It wasn't a lot of money either, I have to say. It was relatively good value in my opinion. I think I paid £60 for my day's fishing today. I mean, as you can see, I'm in some rather lovely surroundings. and it's a very peaceful fishery here. It's certainly not over-rodded. And so far, the facilities that I've seen are excellent. The hut's lovely. I'll show you that at lunchtime. But like, the hut is a really cosy affair. Carla's fishing. She's doing okay. She's still around, put it this way. Imagine us taking this fast flowing water will be quite exciting. So the fly really is whipping round. I think I might have to try casting with a bit less angle, try and make a bit more of a shallow angle cast. Apparently this pool starts to fish from below the slots or from opposite the slots. And they're all the way down to that light green bush way down there. cruising down from the Isle of Skye. Now the riggers off the shy, and all the lassies passing by. Say, Donald, where's your cruiser? You can f off getting it in knots as well, by the way. Okay, so here I am in the second pool of the morning, and I've really only left myself an hour to fish it because I got a bit carried away in the last one, going right down to the bottom. I can't remember the name of the pool, it's Middle something. Well, it's lunchtime. I fished 2 pools this morning. I haven't had a pull yet, but you know, such is life. This possibly is the nicest fishing hut I've ever been in my entire life. So there's 2 rods on the beat. One's on the other bank and one's on this bank. And we've each got our own fishing hut. And Stuart the Gilly's lit a fire at each of the huts just for each individual rod, which is certainly taking things to the next level of customer service. So very impressed. Tea and coffee facilities, fresh milk. Very nice. Yeah, I've had to come out of that hut. It's just too nice in there. It's far too comfortable. You're sitting in there drinking coffee and eating biscuits, and quite easily you could not want to go back fishing. No, no, no. That's no good. You could go soft in a place like that, and nah, softies don't catch salmon. I'm gonna have a fly change. I'm thinking the current's so fast, and I tied up like a fly with a longer tail. There we are, tied with Carla's tail here. That hut of yours is very comfortable.
Aye.
I would imagine quite a few afternoons have been written off after sitting in there for an hour at lunchtime.
Oh well, certainly it's been a miserable day and
Yeah, it's
nothing much happening.
no, it's very comfortable.
Especially that one over there as well. Sometimes lunch parties, fishers come from other part of the party, come there for their lunch.
Right, and then it becomes a social then, does it?
3 o'clock, 3:30, you know, and I'm no sooner, you know, been out at 4 o'clock and well, don't worry about us chaps, we've had you sitting around, just you go home now. I'll go at 5, once I get tidied up.
Right, Carla, you come up here, come on. Good girl.
You use this for sleeping as well.
Yeah, go on, have a look in the back. So this is
Get it up.
for fishing basically.
Oh, hell aye, oh, yeah.
So I'm well catered for, you know.
Oh, yes, aye.
I'm very comfortable on the road.
See where that rock's sticking out of the water there? In that area there, there's quite a few kind of rocks. You have to watch and not let your fly come round and settle too long, you get bloody
Stuck.
it up. But once you're past that, and there's a good taking spot. See if there's a ripple in the middle of the river there, look.
I see it, yeah.
Aye, well there's actually two stones there, and that's a hell of a good lie in there as well.
Excellent.
And then as you're going down, good lies are just, well, see where the first lot of bushes are, the thickest lot of broom bushes are on the right hand side. Out from there, and also opposite the electric fence it's into the river,
Right.
on the other side.
Well, the weather's not the best. It's absolutely freezing. The wind's getting fresher and fresher, and it's started to drizzle a bit as well now. So be it. Anyway, it's 6:30. I'm going to go and fish my last pool of the day. So I've basically been given the free rein of the place now. The gilly's gone home, so I just get to choose where I fish, really. Now, I'm supposed to fish this soft water along the bank here. What sort of bush is this? It's like, ow! It's the grabbiest bush I've ever experienced. Oh, it's got barbed thorns on. Bloody hell. So I've been forced into a form of Himalayan mountain breathing to try and keep myself warm. I think it's called Ring of Fire. Well, I haven't got a ring of fire, to be honest. I've got a soggy ring because my bloody weight has got a leak right in the arse. Oh, shocking cast as well. Come on, Rob. Oh, come on, Rob. That's it. It's feeling like hard work this, like, I must admit. I hate fishing off the bank. Ooh, right, come on, back to the mountain breathing. Well, thank God I've made it back into the van, because it is freezing out there. It's absolutely blue. It's 8 o'clock and I don't know what the temperature is, but it can't be far above freezing. It's absolutely Baltic. Anyway, I've made it back into the warmth and security of the van, and I'm looking forward to getting the place warmed up with a diesel heater. I've got an issue with these waders. They are leaking in the butt, which is not nice, because I don't want to have to fish tomorrow with a wet butt. I've got some Aquashore with me, and I'm going to try and Aquashore them up, but the only thing is I hope there's time for them to dry properly before I've got to wear them again in the morning. Hopefully if I put that there, it'll be so hot that it'll dry, because normally it takes ages for Aquashore to dry. Cheers. That's actually cold. Oh, I don't even want a cold beer, I want a warm beer. Oh. Ah. Cheers again. Well, good morning everybody. Day 2 is upon us and conditions have definitely taken a turn for the worse. It's been lashing down since about 6 o'clock this morning. I think it's now about 8 o'clock, so we've had a good 2 hours of steady rain. The forecast suggested it's going to be like this pretty much all day, so unfortunately it's going to be a bit of a damp squib in terms of comfort. So since I've been up early this morning, I've had a somewhat impromptu and hasty tour of Deeside. In fact, it was almost a traumatic experience. I've been looking for a public convenience, and what I'd like to say is a big thank you to the kind people of Kincardine O'Neill for providing such a wonderful public convenience that's actually open. I'd also like to say a big boo to the people of Aboyne for having public conveniences that are locked. Anyway, after that trauma, hopefully ready for a bit of fishing. It's a fresh old day today. It's cool. And yeah, it's going to be soggy, but we're just going to have to go for it today. I really don't want to come up here and blank, so I was a little bit dejected after my day yesterday. But you know what, at least I've got a better idea of what the water is today and where to focus my efforts. And it's just going to be a case of searching this huge vast amount of water and hopefully getting lucky. Getting a pull would be nice, but we shall just see what the day has in store for us, eh? I'm going to keep on fishing hard. My shoulders feel like I've been at war, like literally, and my right bicep, which had a tear last year, it seems to be feeling somewhat fragile. It's all the double spay. So I tried to cast left hand up yesterday, but honestly my left shoulder is in such a poor state of repair that it was like agony, and I think I've aggravated an old injury. So it's going to have to be a continuation of the double spay, but that seems to be doing my right bicep in. Anyway, this is supposed to be pleasurable. Okay, so the gauge is up to nearly 3 feet now. I think it's pretty much going to be a write-off. Bugger. It's pretty clear, but I mean, Christ, it's making the big water even bigger. Very nice. Wet fly fishing for trout. Not into that. Not today. I don't think the chapter on low water fishing for salmon is going to be appropriate today. There doesn't seem to be a section on high water salmon fishing. As in nearly every phase of fishing described in this book, it is specified that the line should be greased. It may be useful to explain the object of this. An ungreased line, when cast, promptly sinks, becomes waterlogged and inert, and resists the movement caused by the velocity of the stream or by the rod and angler. A line floating on the surface becomes a lively, mobile serpent of the angler. The use of floating lines was developed many years ago. Blah, blah, blah. While fishing the Bonaventure in a summer spate, I had an exciting experience with a heavy fish I had hooked on the sill of a very long rapids, so swift in normal water that the guides always insisted upon my sitting on the floor when shooting them. The fish played wildly, jumping all over the tail of the pool just above the rapids, which he suddenly decided to enter. My reel had only 150 yards of line and backing, and the rapids are some 250 yards long, with exceedingly turbulent water. My line and backing disappeared at an alarming rate until there was only one layer of backing left on the reel. Down the rapids went the canoe at a dizzy speed, all thoughts of safety measures abandoned, while out of the corners of my eyes I glimpsed the frantic efforts of the guides to avoid boulders looming just below the surface, and huge rocks which rose menacingly wreathed in coruscating foam. Arriving safely at the foot of the rapids, where lies another very rapid pool, I found we had left the fish behind, having shot past the rock below which he was resting. A steady pressure soon brought him down and allowed backing and some line to be recovered. However, the end was not yet. The fish, after a few runs, decided to go downstream again, and it required the transit of another pool and another quarter-mile before he was netted. A fine male fish of 27 pounds. Had the fish not decided to rest halfway down the rapids, but carried on to the foot, I should have probably lost the whole of my line and backing, as the leader was stronger than the backing. So I'm calling it a day with Craig and Denny. As you can see, there's large lumps of flotsam and jetsam floating down the river. I'm going to check the gauge on the way out just to see what height it's become. So now I find myself with some time on my hands, so I'm going to go and have a look around, see if there's anything of interest in the local area. Come on, old thing.
Startles them by its strange shape as they curve in air and sea during the moment of rest before falling, a thrilling liquescence of light on the waves beneath. The island race is a meeting place of current. For 2 years after hatching, the salmon lives and feeds in the river and the estuary in a new silver sea coat. The slender others of its school to the least pressure or density of shrimps and other small crustaceans and fish. In freshwater life, it was always waited and watched for food moving or floating before and above its eyes. Thus was its stream tapered and made strong, a passing act in the everlasting action of its racial immortality. Its white flesh became pink, its forked tailfin borders. Always it was travelling farther from the shallow coast, yearning for the rock where the river was unrolling and swaying. The green water mules above in the river, but with greater pride. And there the smoke waited in a race of tides, feeding on the small fish which drifted down near the reef, among hundreds of thousands of other lonely here, the broken, gleaming top of the sea and, near the surface, gathered all their power within. In the sea was rich feeding, and when they were grown big, insurfature of physical life became personal memory, to where the river currents frayed away in the tidal rhythms of the sea. The returning salmon, so they grew quickly or slowly, served by the moon. Its spawning time is the end of the year, when days are short and rivers run high, is between the island and the mainland, knew the meeting place by the reef, and named the fish Salar, the leaper. He had travelled on, pausing neither to feed nor sleep. He had come at medium ocean cruising speed. Salar was 5 years old. During the 2 years of river life, he had grown to a weight of 2 ounces. 3 years of ocean feeding had added another 20 pounds to his weight. Pursuing the salmon were porpoises, led by Meerschwein, the old sea hog. The porpoises snapped at the salmon's belly. Meerschwein and the other porpoises fed by tearing away their bites. They seldom pursued a fish further. Being mammals, they had a sense of sport equal with the sense of feeding. Following the porpoises were ferocious gladiators, or killers, led by Orca, the strongest, who could crush a porpoise with a single bite in the recurved teeth of his immense mouth. A minute. 2 lines of pierced scales along each flank covered cells filled with liquid, which was sensitive to every varying pressure. Powerful flippers, peering round and below with grey filmy eyes. The seals scattered a school of grills, which flickered and flashed away in the tide. The sudden contorted beat of Salar as he accelerated. The few survivors of the autumn run, biggest of the year, the authentic spawning run of salmon. The mended kelps would return along the way they had travelled as smolts. A few of the schools were grilse, small fish, which had been only a year in salt water, weighing from 3 to 8 pounds, slender, silver grey, unspotted except faintly on gill covers, with forked tail fins and gracile wrists, the slender part of the body where it splayed into the tail fin. One of the grills, of a school of 11, which had been skittering along the moonlit surface and sporting among the wave crests, was Gralax, a young maiden salmon who had been born in one of the streams running down from the moor of the wild red deer, in the gravel reds above the pool called Fireplay. Salar was a fish of the largest salmon river of that coast. He had hatched in one of its many headwaters, breaking out before he had shot away. The salmon had become alert because the seal's descent had altered the weight of one of the currents maintaining his lie. Jarg's smooth hide reflected the broken confusion of light, which was the surface of the sea. And when the seal had turned, his neck had flashed. Bubbles from his nostrils shone pearly. Salar was away, the fish behind and beside him were away, and the alarm thudded mainland. The black rats had come there centuries before on a pirate ship. But now its soft hairs were shed and its hide was grey. Its mother was an albino. She rivers of that coast were low. A little rain had fallen since the new year. Owing to rays of seals, he had left prematurely the meeting place of currents in the island race, and now he was travelling in a bay where the freshwater layers gave no memory pressures to his brain. He swam on without direction, followed by the school of young salmon which was making for the coast. The grills were in familiar water, for here as smolts they had travelled in that place. They never play. They search the edge of the sea and land themselves alone. And yet, above the sea, his entire being is desperate. The gulls have risen from the land to find aerial beauty, while the sea grows north of the land to the country. Salar, quite rested, beginning to enjoy moving air and water. Now it was cold, weary unto death. The filaments of its feathers were stuck together with oil fuel waste cast overboard by a ship. guillemot had swum up from its chase of fish into a floating mass of crude lintels and other shellfish were creeping. Anemones were open, waving armlets to see little bush, crawl from scale to scale, while their earth was lively, sitting feeling the lightness of the freshwater stream which was moving inshore against the press of the tide. The rockets of the clouds were ahead. Cruising against the current, the other took a school of swanner. He dived to get food, and shot up in the wind, pouring the rock face in nothing. They approached one another at a leisurely speed of 150 miles an hour. They met and paused. The tearful step, the falcon. They saw the blurred shape of the common seal swimming round the base of a rock, and beyond the buoy marking the sunken reef of Bag Leap, something which made them, in playful mood, slip off their winged ledge and fall to see what they were. Black lengths rolling up, spray blowing and rolling its orca gladiator, the grampus, the killer, blowing a jet of spray into the air as it rose to breathe every quarter of a mile. Sailor, swimming easily with the growth, was startled when a hen salmon bigger than himself struggled past him, swung round, and dived to the gravel below, where she remained with her tail round a rock. He sped away forward, followed by the grill, and then sank to the gravel of a clearing, 3 fathoms down, in order to see the enemy afar. One eye looked up and forward, the other eye watched mid-water and flanked. Beside and behind him lay the grills. Right, they dashed about what the enemy was. Meerschwein and the herd of porpoises had harried Salar Shoal when they had been herring hunting. Nameless fear possessed Salar as it had the grills. They waited with curved tails. A glistening shape drove forward, bubble-shaken, and where the salmon had been resting, gravel and shell specks swirled thickly. But as he was swimming under a ledge of rock in deeper water, there with fast beating heart, hidden by a fringe of bladderweed swaying gently to the direction taken by the porpoises. About a mile from the rocks, it turned and swam back slowly.
Come here, me little Jackie, no I've smoked me backy, have a bit of cracky till the boat comes in. Dance to the daddy, sing to the mummy, dance to the daddy, to the mummy, sing. Thou shalt have the fishy on a little dishy, thou shalt have the fishy when the boat comes in.